Hey everyone, John Newman here. Thank you for downloading this episode of Card Mensches. Myself and Danny Black of Hobby News Daily would like to remind you this is a live show every other Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It can be found on most of our social medias. Danny's at sportsbalt and Hobby News Daily. I am Sports Card Nation Podcast. And it can be found on our YouTube channels. At Hobby News Daily, Sports Card Nation Podcast, at Sportsbalt, and at Card Mensches. So with that being said, we hope to see you very soon on a Friday night in our very active chat room. Now let's start the show.
Experience, quality, consistency, and the quickest turnaround times in the grading industry? We are proud to partner with SGC Grading. Check them out at www.gosgc.com. Experience, quality, consistency, and the quickest turnaround times in the grading industry? We are proud to partner with SGC Grading. Check them out at www.gosgc.com.
Hi, I'm Isaac Alpert, a longtime card collector and the co-founder of the Penny Sleever. My wife and I started the Penny Sleever with a simple premise in mind: to offer collectors top quality supplies at fair prices. We offer a full range of hobby supplies, and we'll get them to you fast. Whether you're looking for a 260-point magnetic for that oversized patch card, or a slew of semi-rigids for your next PSA submission, the Penny Sleever has you covered. Shop now at thepennysleever.com and use the promo code SCNation to get 10% off your first order. That's SCNation for 10% off at thepennysleever.com. The Penny Sleever. Top quality supplies, fair prices.
Hi, I'm Danny Black.
And I'm John Newman.
Welcome to Card Mensches.
What is up, everybody? Episode 52. That's a full year of every other week shows.
It's Ray Lewis, I just realized.
Oh yeah. Well, both our teams now have both our teams have lost now at concurrently. So don't get me started on that. All right, that wasn't funny.
I didn't call you to gloat after that game either.
Well, you really can't. It wasn't like there was a Ravens Steelers game, which I didn't call you and gloat. But
you did lose to the Browns.
Yeah, I listen. I went on Facebook. I know you're not on Facebook a lot, and I said, "Listen, they should win this game, but this is this team's track record, man. The trap game. They lose on Thursday nights. They've struggled against the Browns in the last 6 games, only winning once. Like this had stay if you're betting, which I am. This had stay away from it written all over it, which I did. So." Tough night, but what are you going to do? I mean, I guess if you can lose and be 8-3 still, I guess it could be worse.
Without a doubt. And you know what? Seriously, 52 episodes, getting back to where you started. I say it every show. It's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, that's like a whole year if we were going every week, which we're every other week. So I guess it's 2 full years if we think about it like that. So I don't know.
I got the Twitter anniversary notice, so it has been 2 years.
Yeah, how crazy is that? So and it's over 3 years. Like we've done shows and if you put the date on the end of what year, we've actually been into 3 years now. So not 3 years worth, but we've appeared. The show's appeared in 3 years. So that's kind of cool too.
Absolutely. You want to explain what we're doing tonight?
So today's episode is called Cards That Make You Go, And some of the ones I picked were on the more the funny side, but that's not the rule of thumb. I mean, most of them probably will get a chuckle. I think you'll agree, Danny, many of these people will be very familiar with. Again, chat room, we encourage you. If we miss some or you have your own personal favorites,
some of them are chalk.
Yeah, some of these are the low-hanging fruit. I tried to get a couple that were less known, if you will. I mean, they're all known. We didn't make any fake cards, so they're all kind of established. but I tried to pick some that aren't always talked about, right? And so I tried to find a few kind of hidden gems, if you will.
Well, since you did far more research than I have, do you want to go first?
All right, so I'll go first. I'm surprised. Did you pick this one? Let's start off with one of the low-hanging fruits, right? And we don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but everyone knows this card.
I saw that you already loaded that one in the thing.
Yeah, and what's cool about this card, obviously, other than the colorful language on the bat knob here, was all the versions that came out afterwards to try to rectify the wrong, which was an intentional wrong from most people believe. So I don't know how many versions. I heard 14. Is that right? I don't have them.
It depends if you count the saw cuts. But there's black box, black scribble, white box, white scribble, and the original. And then it just depends on how many variations beyond that.
So this has become one of the early rainbows. You know, we talk about completing the rainbows. Right?
It's the dirty rainbow.
Yeah, this was the dirty rainbow. I like that. We're going to give you credit for coining that. But it was the rainbow before rainbows, right? With all the variations that came up. And I do count the saw cut. That came out of packs, I believe. So it counts. And even if it didn't, it still counts. It's a version you could go to a show. It's made by Fleer. It's not like, I've seen some under, basement card makers have made this kind of version with Jackson Holiday, kind of a modern day, if you will, and then Topps did a little bit of that too. But there's some Fugazi ones too. So I guess you can count the Jackson Holiday, the one that Topps actually made. But this is the Mona Lisa, right, of error cards. Whether you like the fact it was intentional or not.
This is the Mona Lisa of error cards. That's, you know what? Next time I'm running to Bill Ripken around town, I'm going to let him know that.
Is he still in the Baltimore area?
He travels a lot for work, but yeah, the whole family's around here.
But you said he won't sign this card. Is that correct too?
He's softened over the years. He's not a big fan of it.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes.
Well, listen. He should probably be. With all due respect to Billy Ripken, he probably should be a fan of it because we wouldn't talk about Billy Ripken as much without this card. It wasn't the 500 home runs he hit. That
what's up, Warren?
I'm gonna take the card off the screen. I think everyone knows what. But that's like the original. Like there are kids today who weren't even born, obviously, when this card came out. Mm-hmm. that know about, not only know about this card, they either own it, they're in pursuit of it. Well, I have some, I sell this card. Yeah, it's 35 years old. I sell this card. Like I get some, I sell them, I buy more, I sell them again. And it's not just guys our age or even in their 30s. This is a card that's in demand for kids in their teens and up. And so this has become a legendary card.
People love dirty words.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you got, I know George Carlin did. Richard Pryor was a fan, so.
Warren says he's not seeing the video. Try watching on Hobby News Daily or Sports Card Nation, whichever one you're not on.
And that might not be the worst thing, although you won't get to see the cards. That's the bad. Yeah, that's the bad part. About that. I know I have more than you. Do you want me to throw another one out there real quick? Or do you want to go?
Well, Ruben says he's not seeing the video either. Is anybody getting the video? That's not good.
We paid our bills. Like this.
I know. I don't know.
You can check it on YouTube on Sports Card Nation. It says it's playing. Let me listen. Let me look at my phone.
This is exhilarating material.
This is our best episode yet.
These are moments that make you go, All right. Baseball card stuff says I see on Sports Card Nation feed.
All right. I wonder which one's not working. I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate that. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
All right, what you want it? We got to keep going, right? We got.
Yep,
I mean,
keep
we still
going.
come.
So,
We come out in audio too. So this part's not gonna. We see you on YouTube. All right. So maybe it's I don't know. Is it not on Mensches?
I don't know.
It might be Twitter's. Who knows? I don't know. All right. You want me to throw another one up, or you want to throw and I'll save some at the end?
First time watching live. We appreciate that.
And how much more impressive can you get? His first time, and we're having video, I guess, issues on some of the channels. So,
That's pretty
hello,
funny.
Jeremy. How are you? Jeremy, can you see us? And if so, we apologize.
Yeah, it's really
No, I don't go, but I don't go during the show. It's a rule. It's a rule I made.
all right. I think it might be on the Hobby News Daily one. So
All right.
don't watch on that one, guys. Watch on Mensches or Sports Card Nation.
Or
Perhaps
Twitter. I
Danny-
wonder if the Twitter one's working.
Well, no, those don't work. Let me take those out. All right, go ahead, John.
All right, let me throw another one on here. I tried to pick one that maybe isn't as widely known as some error cards. So I went with this one. I've only discovered recently, and it's been around a long time. Obviously, it's a 1958 Topps card, I believe. And Frank Zuppo. There's an Oriole, so there's some Orioles love. And I don't know if he just came off the set of filming the werewolf or what happened when this photo was taken. But there's unibrow, and then there's whatever this would be called.
And how much chew is that?
What?
How much chew does he have?
Yeah, he's trying to take away from the eyebrow. Like, look at my cheek. Don't look at my eyebrows. Or eyebrow, not eyebrows. And then he's got the hairy chest that like going right up until the neckline. Like this guy is a barber's worst nightmare right here. That's and the name the match, right? Frank Zuppo. So there you go. Like I had only discovered this really recently, and it's funny. Like I, with all due respect, he's passed on. Rest in peace, Frank Zuppo. But like this card makes you say, like he's a Major League Baseball player. Couldn't someone in the clubhouse like put a space between the eyebrows with a little bit of a buzzer?
You just got to pull him aside and be like, Frank, nothing. It's just between us. Just between us. A couple of the guys were talking, and it's nothing personal. We think you just got to get that spot right there.
Hey, are you seeing what we're seeing, dude? I don't know. Yeah. Is your mirror working?
Yeah.
Come on, man. We've seen some unibrows, but this one takes a cake. And this being 1958, he's got to be the original unibrow. I don't know one before, not a real one, maybe like the werewolf, but that was a movie.
Can you imagine if he went for a waxing? They'd have to double the price.
Yeah, that would be like they'd have to close for the day.
Yeah, it'd be all hands on deck. They'd be calling
this would be the only class. Sorry, Mrs. Schnellenbach. We have to move your appointment and the rest of our appointments for today, actually. But there you go.
Well, thank you, Frank.
This one needs to get more love. This one needs to get more, cards that make you go, love.
It is, and you've got so many loaded in here. You are Mr. Johnny on the spot. I got to tell you. Can I show you the next one because I think it's the chalk?
All right. Well, I thought the Ripken was the chalk. Let's see what you think's the chalk. Yeah. Well, I picked that one too. Come on. Look, I don't care, dude. I'm 50. I'm soon to be 52 years old. This is still funny. This is funny if you're 9. This is funny if you're 52. This is funny if you're 82, if you get what you're looking at. Now, there's probably some 82-year-olds where you're like, I just want my applesauce. What are you showing me robots for? But if you are with it at 82, you're laughing at this too. 82, 52, 9 years old. This is funny. What's cool, they made a correction of this too. So this is a card on my list to acquire someday. I don't actually own it. At least now. I probably owned it as a kid, but I don't currently own it. I want it back. that immature humor in me says, give it back to me.
By the way, that's what I look like naked.
Yeah. You got to oil the joints up, do you?
Wait, I wanted to read this, and because I'm gonna pull up the card while you read this.
Wait, hang on. One last thing about this card. Let me pull it back up. No, I know the border's green. That there's a rumor that this is Brett Favre. This is not Brett Favre. Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. All right.
So Mark Will's comment is hilarious. I was not familiar with this, but this is worth showing. So I'm adding this in real quick.
Man, you're quick on the research department. We got a crack research department.
So Mark Will says 66 tops Dick Elworth. It was really a picture of Ken Hubbs, who died 2 years earlier.
Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh at Ken Hubbs passing away, but to show a picture of somebody who's been deceased for 2 years.
Man, I mean, Topps even made a memorial card. I have it graded. It's in my show inventory. So, yeah, you should have known. You should have known.
You go, All right.
There's a bonus card.
I stole goldenrod. Go for your next one.
All right. Let's see. That's a classic one. I went with some Braves. I know you work for the Braves, so I'm sure you weren't there at this time. You were too young, but come on, the Glenn Hubbard snake, snake photo.
And that was before I worked there. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not making you older than you are. I could have I was only actually 12 myself, full disclosure. So this card's 40. Now celebrating its 40th anniversary. And this again a classic card with Glenn Hubbard and a snake. I don't know the backstory here. I'm sure there is one.
I mean, what could the backstory be? There's a snake, there's a Glenn Hubbard and a camera. And he's got
and he looks the part with the full facial beard connected, and he looks the part. He looks like he's an outdoors guy. And like, oh, hey, you got a game today. Put on your uniform. He's like, oh, okay. Can I bring my snake? Yeah, bring him. We got to go. There's my backstory. I just made that up. It's probably not reality, but it's fun, and I just did it.
Ruben says it's actually Grizzly Adams.
Yeah, it looks like Grizzly Adams if you're old enough to know that show. So it does look like.
I love the bucktooth smile.
Looks like a shorter Grizzly Adams. He was a pretty big dude. So eventually, Glenn Hubbard, not so tall.
I think, yeah. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Glenn Hubbard, for making that moment.
An 84 Fleer, man, it wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing looking set, but they did some funny stuff with that year of cards. There was a few others that didn't make my cut that were in the field. Let's put it that way.
All right, can I knock out one of mine?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So if you were, let's say, an undercover gigolo, I mean, this guy's a spy. I talk about Mo Berg, but look at this. Either that or he's working the beach and the ladies.
Or a time traveler. Those glasses look like they were post 59. So maybe he's a time traveler.
I just think this is so badass. I mean, he's at the bar after the game and he's wearing those glasses.
And he's with Mickey Mantle. If he's at the bar after the game, he's also accompanied by Mickey Mantle.
And he's definitely wearing those glasses. So that's one that makes me go,
All right, I gotta be a sort of topper, right? I'm gonna go with two because of a comment, but let me put this next one in first. This happens 11 years later, in 1970. But Lowell Palmer says, "Hey, Ryan Duran, hold my beer." Literally,
right?
Check this out, man. I'm too sexy for the Phillies. Was the title here?
That looks like DB Cooper.
Yeah, and you don't see,
that does look like DB Cooper.
Yeah, maybe it is. By the way, I meant to mention it while the card was up. There's a Hall of Famer that's named after Ryan Duran. Do you know who it is?
Sandberg.
Yep, connecting the dots to the Hall of Fame. But yeah, Lowell Palmer here says, "Hey, I'm not a great pitcher, but I look at my shades."
I mean, And the sideburns. Don't knock that sideburn. That sideburn's a 1.5 feet long coming down there.
And they're so dark, they almost look like someone took a black pen. Like if you told me this wasn't the card and someone took a black pen or Sharpie and made this, I'd believe it. That's what it looks like.
Come on. I'm just saying.
It's him. The mystery has been solved. A Card Mensches is not only into sports cards, but forensics, and we just solved an unsolved mystery. I'm Agent J.
Isn't he blind to D.B. Cooper or the pitch or Lowell Powell?
I hope he's not blind.
Well, that was John's pick if he is. So, how about the 72 Billy Martin giving the finger?
Yeah, there's a few giving the finger cards, right? You got that one. You got some of the Frank Thomases. There's more than one Frank Thomas, like the Stadium Club, the Upper Deck, right?
Lowell Powell.
Yeah, he was trying. Apparently, he was trying to get a Ray-Bans deal. Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah, if we're funny, we'll go long and make it up. If not, don't worry.
So I guess not to plug my own channel, but everyone's saying on Sports Card Nation it's going well, or we're visible. So maybe head there. I don't know where it's not.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know that. Like I didn't notice that one, the 73 Carolina Bandit. You might have to look that one up. But
short print.
Yeah. No. Yes. Speaking of error cards or error shows, right? We're along with the par for the course, I guess.
Hey, thank goodness this isn't the interview, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Okay, so after DB Cooper, is it my turn?
Yeah, you can go, and then I'll post a card that was mentioned in the comments by someone.
The post. Go ahead, post that one.
All right, and I won't spend a ton of time on it. And I think it was Ruben that mentioned this card. I got to find it now in my rotation. I thought I put it in here. Oh, maybe I didn't. Thought I did. All right, I guess you are going.
All right. I did. This is a classic. When you think of bad pictures, Hall of Famers that got done dirty. Brooks Robinson called this his least favorite baseball card of himself. I mean, look at that face, John. Which end is that about to come out of?
It is a goofy kind of face, but it doesn't bother me like as much. I feel like I've seen worse faces on baseball cards.
That's the best thing you can say is I think I've seen worse faces.
Yeah, I guess. He almost looks like Peyton Manning. Does anyone else agree? Tell me, like, if you didn't know this was an old card and this didn't say Brooks Robinson at the top of the card, like if you just photoshopped the face without the baseball cap on this and made it where you couldn't tell how old the picture actually was, this could be a younger Peyton Manning.
No,
right?
Don Mafia.
Anyone else see that like I do?
I definitely now I'll never unsee it.
It's Peyton Manning.
Yep, I can't unsee Peyton Manning now. All right, Dylan says he sees it also. It does, John. Yep.
I don't know. It's weird.
That's the face after you get bad Boog's barbecue. That's the barbecue on Utah Street. That's good barbecue, guys. All right, go for it.
All right. So I thought I had Don Mossy.
I thought I loaded that in.
Yeah, you could have picked almost any Don Mossy card, and that would have qualified. But
isn't it the 57? That's really.
Yeah, I think 57 to 63. I don't know. Any Don Mossy, with all due respect to Don Mossy, he didn't win any Mr. America pageants. All right, now they fixed the video feed. Well, you hear about athletes, right? Loving their equipment. They have a favorite this or a favorite that, right? And then there's Oscar Azokar in the Stadium Club photo, I believe 92 or 93. He really loves his bat. Like, really loves his bat. Like, I'm really kind of scared for the bat whenever I see this photo. Like, what else is going on with this bat. Like
What's
I don't
he
make that.
thinking about?
I didn't even make that kind of face if I'm laying down next to my wife. And I'm talking about in the early years of my marriage. I'm not even talking about the back end. Like this, like that's affection right there. You could see it.
That is.
Or he's winning the Academy Award for, best love scene with an inanimate object right here. But, if you look up Oscar, he doesn't have a ton of cards, but even some of his other cards, he's doing different things with the bat. So I believe like it's a running gag with him to try to get these kind of shots.
It's got to be. I mean, that's too funny.
Yeah, and I remember this card when it was, I'm like, dude, I like, listen, I used to play, not in the major leagues, obviously. I love my equipment, but I'm not taking pictures like this. And I'm definitely not taking a picture like this when it's going to be a national release. And so there you go. And then maybe he just realized his career wasn't probably going to be talk worthy, but maybe I could be remembered for weird, funny looking cards. And if so, good job for Oscar. It worked.
It's hard to top. You got some good ones. This one I find hilarious. Maybe nobody else will find it as funny as I do. But Bob Uecker, one of the great personalities in the history of baseball, the storyteller, the player, hosting Carson, everything he's done. Somehow on his rookie card, he's 58 years old. If you can zoom,
he don't look much worse now, and he's 80-something.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Maybe he time traveled. He's a time traveler. He came back from the future. He came back from the future and said, "Hey, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille."
And the whole thing with the floating heads, the whole thing, it's just a weird card. And I don't know what face he's making. I don't know what's going on. He seems confused. I mean, it's truly one that makes you go.
He's got a little, talking about like the Brooks Robinson look like Peyton Manning a little bit. You know what I see here when I'm looking at Uecker's headshot?
What?
Like a young Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, like Freddy Krueger's high school yearbook.
I don't know. Shot in the dark there. Not as good as my Peyton Manning reference, but it's hard to top that one. They're all four fall short of that.
Every time I see a Uecker rookie, I just want to. He somehow gets older. It's like it does. It's like it gets.
He's like, Benjamin. I didn't see the movie, but I know the prop. He's Benjamin Button.
Yeah,
thrown in reverse.
Robert Englund, the actor. Yep,
Robert Englund. Yep.
All right, on to you.
All right, let's see what I got here. All right, so a little backstory. This card is in many people's rankings ahead of like the Billy Ripken. Not on my list. But it's high enough up there to make it. It's a minor league card, 1989 pro cards. It is a stage photo, obviously. It's a done on purposeful card, but kind of a funny. A guy wind up having a major league career, so that enhances sort of the legend of the card. But it's Keith Comstock taking a ball to the skis. At least in theory, right? It was a stage photo, but almost made look natural, and it's become
cup check, as they say.
Yeah, and it's become a fan favorite. Like people will I don't know if people are buying the 1989 Pro Cards Las Vegas Stars minor league set because they're Las Vegas Stars fans, but there are a lot of people who like this card, and there's some that will argue this should be ahead of the Billy Ripken F-face card. I'm not one of those, but there are people that in their rankings would put this there. I don't.
But
good enough to make it out to the show today. Let me put it that way.
I like that they staged it. I think there should be
something different, right?
There should be a sense of humor.
Yeah, and this is probably a guy's like, hey man, I don't know if I'm going to make the big leagues. Let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody just put in the comments, Gary Sloan rookie.
I know I've seen that, and I just can't, picture it. Oh yeah,
there it is.
I mean, it looks like he's got his head out the window of a moving car.
I was just gonna say that,
like your dog. You ever seen a dog you're driving and the dog in the next car, like, his head out his window, and it looks like that, except he's got a mask.
So all right, I'll use that as mine in the Jerry Salon.
I remember that car now. It's funny, you forget stuff when you're putting these lists together, and they're not all going to make it on there. All right, this next card was done intentionally, but it didn't come out until years later that Upper Deck did this card intentionally. I had Tom Guiderman on the podcast, one of the early guests of Sports Card Nations, and he came on the show. If you listen to that, I don't know what it's an early episode. He talked about this card, and he says that I believe he said, it's again, this is like 4 years ago. I believe he said this is the first time he's admitting that it was done intentionally. They had various photos of this player, and they went with this photo rather than the other photos they had. Let me put it on this. It's a 1990 Upper Deck Bill Buckner card. He's now with the Royals at this point in his career, 4 years after the incident, we'll call it, as most people know. And I have a photo where there's the big tarp in the behind, like right between his legs. And Tom Guiderman said, listen, we had 4 or 5 photos to pick from, and we were known for being pranksters and having fun, including at other people's expense. And we ran this card in 1990. And so just when Red Sox fans were trying to get over it 4 years later, if you open the pack in 1990 Upper Deck, and I know it's not in the Red Sox uniform, but you see this Buckner card, it brings it, like Mark just said, Mark Hoyle brings up all the memories from 4 years prior, right? And I don't know if Buckner saw this card, I'm sure he knew about it. Someone probably handed it to him to sign. I'm sure it wasn't his favorite card of his card run. But Upper Deck did it on purpose. They didn't say that at the time, but they admitted years later that no doubt that there was no coincidence about the photo they used, and so there you go.
You know how some things are just dated in the era, like the pink bathroom at grandma's or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, pleated khakis. You know how much I hate this card.
We take opposite ends of the spectrum here. I like this card. I like this card. It's so different. It's people forget. Remember the studio line of cards by Donruss where they were like almost like, this is really kind of like Topps' answer to that inside.
The pole looks crooked. He's the khakis don't fit.
I know. The shot's not going to win any kind of photography awards, but I like the fact that you see them kind of in their natural element.
Well, it's not natural.
Well, why not? It's after a game or before a game.
And he's just leaning against a pole underneath the stadium.
This would bother me more. I don't know if you agree with this. This photo would bother me more if it was done like 10 years into his career. It bothers me less because it was before Mariano was Mariano.
Mark Hoyle is very smart. Yes.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? This card I'd probably have a disdain for this card if it was 2002 Bowman rather than 90.
Yeah, you and I will agree to disagree on this one. I think for the greatest reliever ever. I mean, it's a shame. It really is.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I mean, I don't love it. I give it a pass because it's a rookie or first appearance. Like if that's years into his career, I'm like, come on, we can.
Yeah. All right.
So
we'll agree to disagree, honey.
All right. All right. Whose turn is it?
It's your turn. Did I throw you off?
No, not really. All right. Here we go.
One of my all-time favorites. Great call, by the way. I forgot this. Good on you.
Like this one almost doesn't need an introduction. Like you just put it on the screen and say, "Have fun with this." I don't know what that glove. You know where my mind goes when I see this card every time. Like is it like a legit manufacturer who made this glove? And what the heck would that thing cost to
I
make
heard the story behind it, but I don't remember. If anybody remembers
Yeah.
the story behind it, I thought John's pet name was Pookie. Ruben, that's between you and John.
Everyone has a pet name for me. Some are nice and can be said on the air. Some can't.
I forget the story behind that, but they're
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, come on, that's funny. Like that's just for imagine being in the stands and this guy comes out of the dugout with this thing, like you're snapping photos and you know, I don't know, it's just for and they've done this on subsequent cards. I mean, there's even another Mickey Hatcher after this one where he's got the glove again. So it became sort of a continuous running gag. But this was the first one I remember seeing with the oversized glove. And,
I think it's hysterical.
Yeah, just fun, man. You gotta have a little fun playing the game. 162 games. It's a grind. I don't know what part of the season this is in. Maybe the Twins were struggling, and have some fun, have some laughs, and
It could have been spring training.
yeah, I don't know. Like, so I'm sure there's a backstory, but whatever the backstory is or isn't, it's just.
If we saw that today, we would say that it was photoshopped. I mean, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, that thing is his whole upper torso. That's how big that glove is. Like that thing, you puts it up against his chest, you'd see just his head.
Yeah,
it'd be like he's wearing a glove for a shirt. So
that's funny. All right, good one. I'm gonna go to a sad place if that's okay.
Yeah, it's all all the emotions, right? We laugh, we cry.
A lot of great players end their careers on other teams, and occasionally they get cards, and they're sad. They are. And let's be honest, Willie Mays can't even fake a smile. I mean, this makes me sad for the greatness of the kid who came up, the catch, all those years, and you get sad Willie here. It's just, they could have done more with a great player.
73. Listen, in defense of Top, 73 was really a poor photograph set in general. If you look at the Clemente card, it looked like it was taken from a fan behind the plate, in the stands rather than a field photographer. Again, the Mays at this point is a shell of his former self. The only claim to fame is for Willie's Mets career is we can say he played on the Mets, and they can kind of do things to honor him and whatnot. But for all intents and purposes, this was the end. And it's again I agree. It's not a great card.
It's almost disrespectful to his legacy.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like someone said say cheese. It's kind of got that sort of smile, like 1, 2, 3. Smile.
It's like they timed it wrong, and then they chose the wrong one to put on the card.
Yeah, I won't argue with this. And good catch by Ruben. He's got the black armband for Gil Hodges passing, and Spahn at the end with the Mets. I mean, the Mets at this point, they weren't winning games. They were just trying to get legendary players to bring some people to buy, give some people reason to buy tickets, right? So some of the generation that missed Spahn and Mays during their heyday, the younger set could now, hey, I did get to see Willie Mays play. Yes, he looked like a shell of what he probably once was, but I was there. And so, yeah, I won't argue with that. I thought I had put it in the room. I apparently didn't. But the Jay Johnstone, I know Ruben mentioned the 84 Fleer, which was full of quirky cards. The Jay Johnstone umbrella Budweiser hat, which is a fan favorite or a hobbyist favorite. I thought I uploaded. I don't see it. So it got deleted. And, but that's a classic card. That set is loaded with stuff like that we could do. We could do a whole show in 84 Fleer, which maybe is an idea for a later date, like the quirky cards.
If anybody has one, I'll call it up on ComC. If you get
if you want to find a Johnstone card for those that maybe the few that maybe haven't seen it, I think a lot of people have. I thought I put it in
What year is it's the
84 Fleer
Four.
Jay Johnstone. He's with the Cubs. If that makes. I thought I had it. Apparently, I didn't.
Yeah, I still like my DB Cooper. I think I just found DB.
Yeah,
Cooper.
that was funny.
No, I think I solved it tonight.
It's over.
Yeah,
Robert Stack can rest in peace now. Yeah, that's a classic. You know what I love about this card even more than the umbrella hat?
What?
Kind of the serious look on Jay Johnstone's face. Right, you wear this umbrella hat like this, it's Budweiser, you're laughing, you're smiling, you got like a eating grin. He looks like he's like there's serious business going on.
It is. It is serious business. It's an umbrella hat, and you're gonna like it. It was really the fanny pack of its time.
Yeah. 12-year-old me probably would love to wear that hat. I just never got the opportunity.
Mike Petty, is that a Brock umbrella? What's up, Mike? All right. So we got the Jay Johnstone up.
There's one more I found. I'm coming. I'm going to try to post it in here. Let me see if I can put it in. This is a kind of classic, and this set was known for these type of cards, and so I thought I had uploaded it already, but I didn't. So let's. Here we go. 1991, Donruss Studio. Jose Lynn with a samurai sword. A pretty good second baseman in his day. Not known for his hitting, but definitely an excellent fielder and a pretty decent longevity career. I mean, wasn't a major award winner, but with these studio cards, right? There's another one with a guy with his pet parrot on his shoulder, but Jose Lynn, I don't know the backstory here either, but hey, check out my sword.
I feel like we got to show a little respect for your Clint Hubbard. I mean, he doesn't need a studio. Here, you can put it back up. Sorry about that.
No, we've seen it, and studio was also famous for a lot of those, type of cards.
I like the ones that happened kind of back in the day organically. I mean, we talk about things. We talked about this on the last episode or the one before that Reggie Jackson doesn't have a card with the Orioles. That's like the reverse. That's like the missing card that makes you go, there's a whole bunch of those where guys never got cards that they should have. So you can do the reverse of it, but I don't think we should do a whole show on that.
Yeah, I like the studio. I know some people hate it. I'm on the other camp. And they've tried to bring it back in subsets and inserts and kind of parallel sets, and I kind of like it. I'd like to see it another set along those lines. I guess Stadium Club would be the closest thing we sort of have to that now.
They remind me of the classic board game cards almost.
Yeah, I get that with Bo in his football uniform with the bat and goofy stuff, and Greg.
That's
Jeffries,
a cool card, actually.
Yeah, it's worth a few bucks.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy one right now.
Yeah, and I think he'll sign that one.
I buy one.
I think he'll sign that one. I don't know, but going back, some of the names Ruben brings up, guys in their last legs of their career, right, with the Mets. Richie Ashburn, Duke Schneider. We already talked about Warren Spahn, Yogi Berra, who wound up managing too, I think, or player managed. But that's what the Mets were in the early, late '60s, early '70s, just to try to, especially in the '69 World Series, which I know is not a good memory, for an Orioles fan, where we weren't supposed to win that. Neither one of us were obviously around yet, so we can't take any credit. Not that we could take credit if it happened in this year either. But, the Mets were not, they kind of caught lightning in the bottle, but they still were a bad team after that. And that's what they did. They tried to get meal ticket type players to put butts in the seats. And I guess it worked enough for them to keep trying it. So it didn't equate to wins, but they probably sold a few more tickets.
Made me think of this card.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like he's 158.
Yeah, I love it. It says catcher coach.
Right. Like, we know he's almost done. We're not going to argue.
Yeah. Like he's coaching, and they're so bad he still can play on this team.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty funny. Good call on the Yogi.
He still looks, I will say, put that card back up. He still looks younger than Bob Uecker's rookie year.
He does. See, that's what I'm saying. You're finally seeing it. Bob Uecker's 120.
Yogi Berra's one of Yogi Berra's last playing cards. He still looks younger than Freddy Krueger.
There it is. I stand by that. This was fun. I like funny.
It's fun. We missed some cards, I'm sure, and I tried to pick some that maybe people didn't know as much, or you know what I mean, or people forget about. And I think one of my favorites, man. I know I keep going, I like this one.
Yeah, I mean that the eyebrow alone may win it.
If you Photoshop this card, you took off the uniform and you just made that all like fur, like the werewolf. No one would argue that it wasn't the werewolf in the werewolf movie.
Yes.
Just wearing an Orioles. Why people would say, so if you took off the shirt part, the jersey part, made it like hairy like the werewolf, people would say, why is the werewolf wearing a Baltimore Orioles hat?
Can you imagine a like 4-year-old version?
Yeah, and there were some football ones. There's some classic football ones. I tried to keep it to baseball. With the C3PO one is a classic. But we could probably do this again with like football or basketball. Hello.
So you still can't stop laughing.
Come on, dude. Like that's done on purpose.
Absolutely.
Hey. And is it hot in here? Is it hot on Tatooine, or is it just me?
Right. No, it's C3PO. I wonder how the actor feels about that.
You know what I hear when I see that card?
Other than Logan?
I hear, swing!
Yes, exactly.
Saturday Night Live line.
93, Ruben says 93 Upper Deck Mike Perez. He's holding a card of himself.
Yeah, but that's been done a lot now. That's been done.
Well, this was 93.
Yeah, it was even done. I don't believe that's the first one. Sultans of Swing.
That's funny.
Thank you, Stooks.
You have to be old enough and young enough to get that one.
Yeah, and Star Wars, I've talked to, Star Wars and Jaws, I kind of had those cards even before I had my first 1979 Topps baseball pack. So there's a sentimentalness with Jaws and Star Wars movies.
Please don't tell me you're sentimental about Goldenrod.
But I don't remember. You want to know something? I don't think I had that card as a kid because I would have remembered it. I think I kept getting. I think I was late to the party and I got the corrected version.
Yeah. And do we both agree that the Ty Cobb, Mickey Mantle winner of all time era cards?
Yeah, this again. I would use the line. This is the Mona Lisa, really, of era cards. Now I'm not. Listen, it's 1989. There was era cards before this. This isn't the first ever era card. I'm not making that distinction. Mona Lisa wasn't the first painting ever painted. There was paintings before the Mona Lisa.
Yep.
That is the Mona Lisa of era cards, though. It's what everyone wants. It's went up in value. Like, a lot of cards from the 80s, as time has went on, have went down in value, and deservedly so, right? They didn't stop the presses. And there's no shortage of these Ripken era cards. The different variations have different print runs. I agree with that. There's no shortage of the F-face cards alone, right? No. The actual error. No. But yet it's still in such a demand that, a PSA 8 is going to be 3 figures. An SGC 8 is going to be close to 3 figures, $100. You get that, and it goes up from there. And people don't even care about them graded. People just want to own a copy of the card.
And forget about a white scribble or a white box. Those really go for a ton of money.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever owned a saw cut in my 40 years of collecting and selling cards. I've seen one, but I've never actually owned one myself.
Yeah.
I remember someone trying to sell me one, and for whatever reason, the deal never matriculated, so I didn't get it. But so yeah, it's not a card yet. I say yet, the Tyson butt cheeks photo from, I'll call it the fight, wasn't much of a fight. It was more of a dance night. Yeah, that's a classic shot that maybe we'll see on cardboard or chrome in a future Topps release, if possible. So
I'm proud to say I didn't see the fight.
I watched. I'm not gonna lie. I got suckered into it, and it's like a train wreck, right? Once you start watching, you got to watch it to the completion. But after that third round on, I'm like, yeah, this ain't good. But you're in. The bars come down. It's like a roller coaster. The bars come down, and you can't get off. Like even if the ride stinks, you're stuck.
I don't even go to the amusement park.
Well,
Mike Petty, I traded 2 of the Bill Ripkins in '89, one for a Koufax rookie and one for a Banks rookie. You wonder why I like modern BS now so much.
Hey, listen, those are 2 great deals. Those are 2 great deals.
Mike Petty, I want you to know, I'll still do that deal. I've got a Bill Ripken card. If you want me to send it to you, I'll take a Koufax rookie.
Yeah, or Banks.
Or a Banks rookie. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that in a minute.
Yeah, be happy to match that if you.
Still a classic card, though, man, and it's a card that's transcendent. Like if you lived in the area, you obviously know about that card. But there are kids that were born in the 2000s that know about that card. It doesn't matter if you've been in the hobby longer than probably 5 days. You know about the Billy Ripken era card. So. That's why I call it the Mona Lisa of era cards, man. Like everyone knows. Not even art kind of, there's some paintings, right, that art connoisseurs are aware of, but me and you aren't. But this card, everyone in the hobby knows. It's just that famous. It's
the Mona Lisa of era cards. Maybe that's why she's smiling, because even she likes cuss words.
Yeah.
See what I did there? I brought it all together.
Yeah, now we can make them. Maybe someone will make a Mona Lisa F-face card.
That's funny. That's funny.
Similar smirks. I mean, if you look at her smirk and Billy Ripken's, they're not far off. I'm not saying they're identical, but
what's this era's Billy Ripken? You know what? I'm not sure there's anything equal to it before or after. There's been different things, but
I know some people will say, no, John, the 1990. Topps no name Frank Thomas is the Mona Lisa. It's the scarcest. It's scarcest, but I think
no entertainment value.
Yeah, and I think everyone has to enjoy it. So the Billy Ripken's a card everyone can acquire. You know what I mean? Not everyone can acquire the Frank. You can look it up and look at it, but you can't own it. Some people, right? And because it's a 4-figure card. And there are not a lot of them. That's the other thing. There's not a lot. That's why it's a 4-figure card. So I'm still going to give that title to Billy Ripken. The modern day era card, I don't know. That's Dale Murphy. I missed that one. I know about it.
There's a bunch of reverse negative over the years.
Yeah, and that card, it's come down, man. But that card for a while was big bucks. I kind of want to own it. So I might have to put that on my eBay search list, the 89 Upper Deck Dale Murphy reverse negative,
I like it. This was
I never owned that card now that I think about it, and that's weird.
I'm a Dale Murphy fan. Is he Hall of Fame for you?
I think so, man. I just, as a Mets fan, I got to watch him just hit a lot of those home runs against the Mets being in the same division. And he always seemed to be a clutch guy, right? I talk about David Wright and a little bit of Pete Alonso. They put up numbers, but a lot of times they're they're already winning 8-2 and they hit 3-run home runs, right? Dale Murphy was a clutch dude. I think he is. And now I know Dave Parker just got in, right? And I kind of look at them as similar kind of in players. I think Dale Murphy eventually gets in. I do.
Bet he's still 15 years old.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he gets in. I mean, I know there's people who argue just the opposite. He's kind of like Steve Garvey. There's people who like swear he should be in, others that say he shouldn't.
Garvey's not a Hall of Famer, but Murphy won.
What did he have, man?
MVP.
11 gold gloves. 11 gold gloves, man. We put we got guys in the Hall of Fame on defense alone, like Luis Aparicio and Nellie Fox. Like, but he hit too. Like
he was carried by his teammates, and he was not anywhere in the league of a Keith Hernandez at first base or somebody like that.
Keith, I don't know, man. There's that whole nother like guys on the border, right? The cusp. Murphy, Parker he's now in. Mattingly, I think Munson should be in, so especially with Joe Mauer getting in, like Munson should be in the Hall now.
Munson's a tough one.
I know the career was short enough for obvious reasons, but the dude was a player, and I think there's enough body of work there that you can make a case for him. I'm a homer. It was my first living favorite player where I got to actually see him type of deal. I thought they announced he was in.
He's one of the finalists for the December vote.
Oh, all right. I misread that then. I thought it was a done deal.
Mike Petty says that Garvey made that backhand one-hop grab all the time with that crap infield. All right. So
he's quite the defensive player, man. His numbers and hitting were very good, too. Popeye arms, almost 300. I think close to 300 career batting average. Like, I'm not trying to say he's Willie Mays. That's not what we're trying. But should he be in the Hall?
He's not even Mets Willie Mays.
No, Mets Willie Mays was bad. Like, he's better than Mets. He's not better than Willie Mays overall, but he's better than Mets Willie Mays,
Yeah, I've really taken a stance on Garvey here, haven't I?
I don't know, man. Tommy John.
He's a 117 OPS plus for his career. I don't know.
Tommy John's got a surgery named after him. Does he get in for that reason?
That's kind of cool, though. I'm not going to lie. I know it makes no logical sense, but that's cool.
Imagine if that surgery was named after Al Hrabosky.
Right. The Mad Hungarian has been inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Sorry. Bad news to report from Major League Baseball. Paul Skeens is going to be going under having Al Hrabosky surgery.
Another Hrabosky. Another Hrabosky. That's funny. Oh, good stuff, dude. Good stuff. All right.
So who has two? Is Tommy John? Yeah, 288 wins, but he doesn't have the Cy Youngs.
Yeah, Ruben will.
I guess I didn't realize Tommy John. He pitched for a long time though, man. Even with
Yeah, we just mentioned it. He had the freaking surgery.
I know, but he lasts. Even with that being said, like he pitched.
It was a lot of pressure.
Don Sutton was sort of a compiler. I kind of look at Don Sutton was a better pitcher than Tommy John. I don't want to mince my words, but I kind of look at them similarly.
I think Sutton's a little overrated, to be honest.
Yeah, then Tommy John probably is too. Yeah, he won more games after the surgery than before.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Tommy John. I don't think Hall of Famer. I don't, and I don't mean he's a Hall of very good.
Yeah, it's not a knock on somebody.
He was a good pitcher.
Now this is a great stat. He was a runner-up 3 times after his Hrabosky surgery.
Yeah, he had a better. Like it's coming out now. He's had a better career post-surgery than.
Well, so have a lot of players.
Yeah,
dig out those 64 rookies.
Well, if he gets in for sure. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's get your Dave Parker rookies while you can.
74, I believe, right? Same with Winfield, who was already in. Same set.
Do you think Glenn Hubbard's wearing a cobra?
No, it's a python.
Is it a python?
I'm not a snake expert, but I'm pretty sure that. Yeah, he's not having a cobra because those things will kill you. A python just tries to like strangle you to death, and then it's not.
Goose Gossage is half genius, half crazy.
Yeah. I've met him, and I grew up watching him as a young Yankee fan in Brooklyn. I got to meet Goose Gossage If I told the story, I will apologize. I'm telling again. So I got to meet him in person and talk to him for probably 5 or 6 minutes in the Hall of Fame itself. It was just kind of a meet and greet, and I shook his hand and I said, "Hi, Mr. Gossage. I grew up, a young Yankee fan watching you, and I'm like, you scared me." And his response was, and I said that to him. I said, "I was scared of you when you came out there on them." He goes, "How about now?" And I said, "Nah, not so much." And plus, I'm a little bit bigger and older now, so maybe that's why. But super nice guy. It was a fun conversation. We talked about some moments I remember, and and that sort of thing. Really great guy, but old school. And so this load management stuff, he hates it.
Yeah.
And he pitched in an era where you had to pitch 2 to 3 innings to get a save. It wasn't 2 outs or 3 outs or 1 out to get a save. He came in the 7th inning and closed out the game, or at least 2 innings. So he hates seeing a dude come in and throw 10 pitches and getting a save. It's that era, right? And
yeah, I don't agree with everything Gus says, but he certainly had he had a great arm and some great years. But he pitched for like 20 teams. People forget that also.
Yeah, but you know what? That doesn't bother me as much with relievers, because teams aren't loyal to relievers, comparatively speaking, to like other positions. Yeah, we're like Goose Gossage would be mad at us.
Got to take it easy on the knees, Mookie.
He'd be like, Goose Gossage would say, "Danny and John, come on, dude. Once every 2 weeks, bunch of pansies.
That's weak sauce. Let's pick it up, boys. You're sitting in chairs talking into a microphone."
And then maybe smack us on the ass and, "Come on, man, do better."
Let's go.
And then it'd be hard not to after getting smacked in the ass.
Gossage pitched 150 innings in middle relief. Starters can't make 150 now.
Yeah.
What did Mike Marshall pitch that one year? He had a year with the Dodgers. Somebody might have the number quicker than I can look it up, where he, out of the bullpen, pitched a ridiculous amount of appearances.
Yeah, Bob Gibson, Koufax were famous for, going complete games. Gibson especially. I mean, who's the last pitcher that was kind of a workhorse like that, right? The one guy that comes to my mind is like Jack Morris.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on a separate page and can't see you. But in 1974, Mike Marshall did not start a game. He appeared 106 and threw 208 innings.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, look at, complete games, they don't even happen hardly anymore, man. The complete games was a real stat. And it's kind of went away as a stat because it doesn't. The only time a complete game almost happens now is the guy has to have a no-hitter, and they keep him in. And even that, they take out, and then we have those combined no-hitters with 3 or 4 pitchers, right?
Absolutely.
Complete games are not even a stat anymore. They went away. And to me, like Jack Morris was that last guy from that group of pitchers, and I could be wrong. There might be someone after him, or Hershiser sort of has that feel too, that literally pitched a lot. And in the extra innings. The Jack Morris in the World Series, what did he do? Pitch 10, 11 innings?
Yep.
You're not going to see that anywhere close to that anymore. So he's kind of like the last of that breed, and that Gossage is talking about, right? Guys that go out there and can throw and not.
I think they're also bitter about the money.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The money.
Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe Gossage, I don't know what his relationship is with Rivera. Maybe he, doesn't like being sort of replaced by Rivera as the greatest Yankee closer of all time, So.
All right, my friend. This was a fun one.
Yeah, I thought we'd have a little fun with some cards, and we forgot a couple. We knew that was gonna happen, but that's why we have the greatest chat room ever, and we might have to do one for another sport. We might have to do like football or basketball. This was so much fun. I did have some football ones. I just said, they're mostly baseball. Let's keep it baseball. We could do.
You're better at this than I am, so I might need more prep time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it just came off the top of my head, and then you Google funny cards and see what else I missed and fill in some of the blanks. But I mean, honestly, most of them, you do this long enough, they stick out in my mind.
Well, on that note, say goodnight, John.
Good night, John.